Beautiful listeners, you have heard me introduce my guest, Donna Wallace, briefly, but welcome, Donna. I
Thank
would
you so much.
I would love for you to fill in the details because the introduction by no means does justice to the capacity of your work and who you are and what you do. And I would love for my listeners to get to know you better because I am fascinated with your work and I know they will be as well. So here is everyone, Donna.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. I'm so thrilled to connect with you and all of the people listening. Um, do you know, first, I want to share a little bit about me rather than my work because for so many years I felt like I was my work and I'm not. It's a big part of what I do. It's my passion, it's my purpose, it's what I get so much contentment and fulfillment out of. But I'm also a mum to two kids. I live by the beach. I can't be away from the ocean. It just fills my cup so much. I'm the person on the dog beach with no makeup on, in my tracksuit pants, the everyday person that happens to have a teepee in her front yard who does energy healing work and creates magical jewelry for people. And
Can
I've
I
been
just
on
jump
my
in? Because those of you who are listening, you may not know, well, you won't know that Donna is actually sitting now in her tipi. And when the video came on first, I was like, where is she? What is this? So, of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, you will know. But if you're listening, that's where Donna is right now. Sorry, just wanted to say, give us a
Yes,
bit of
I
context.
yes, thank you, Kasia. Yes, my TP is my sacred space where I work from. It is stepping into this space is like stepping into another time and place. We go into all sorts of different places, and it's like a portal, a magical portal. Um, so yeah, what was I saying? I didn't grow up in a spiritual family. I grew up in pretty much an atheist family. I was a super sensitive, super emotional kid that then grew into a super sensitive, super emotional teenager and young adult and now middle-aged adult. And what I found so challenging when I was a child and a teenager is now my greatest gifts. And it took a big healing journey to go from from those things as being so sensitive and so emotional to from those being my greatest challenge to now my greatest gifts. And so it's been so far a lifelong journey of healing and yeah, learning the beauty that sits within that part of myself. And I know that that's who your people are too, Kasia, that we're probably all on that similar journey of understanding our spiritual gifts, our true nature, and how we might express that in the world.
Mm. Well, I love that, Donna.
Mm.
So tell us though, because you do work that is energy work, but it's also a little bit different. You have different elements also, and I would love for you to take us there and explain a little bit of why are you on this podcast? What is so unique that about you that has completely drawn me to we have to have you here. We have to chat.
I feel that part of my own personal healing journey, Cassia, has been that becoming that unique individual that I am, and that has translated into my soul work. And I feel like there's a point of difference between what I do and what other people do. And in fact, so much so, I don't really look at what other people do so much anymore because I'm so filled up with the path that I'm on. That's really lovely because I used to feel like, what's different about me then? I'm like, there's so many people, so many healers out there in the world, and so many people doing this work. Like, what's so good about me type thing. And now it feels like the journey is much more about, yeah, expressing who I uniquely am as a soulful being. And I've been blessed by spirit to get divine downloads along the way that has translated into my work. So to go back quite a few steps, I told you earlier that I've always been a sensitive and emotional child, and then I've experienced traumatic things along the way, as many of us have, yes. And I had to I wasn't always doing this for my work. I had a mixed career of all sorts of things. In fact, I was working in the corporate world for one of our big four banks in a specialized HR role for quite some time. And I had always had this dream of doing healing work as my soul, SOUL, SOLE, soul income. And so, but really, my mission around my healing work was kind of, shall I say selfish, Kasia? Because I needed it. I needed to figure out how to heal things. I needed to figure out how to resolve things. I needed to find modalities that actually worked, because I don't know about you, but along my journey, I found things that gave me a little bit of relief, but then the same issue would pop up 6 months later and I'd be told, well, that's just another layer of the onion. You know, that's what happens. This is a spiraling, cyclic healing process. To be honest, that drove me crazy, because I actually wanted something that worked. And I didn't just want it, I needed it. I needed something that worked so I could feel better in myself, because as a sensitive being, it's really easy to shut down, become really depressed, and yeah, feel unfulfilled when you know that there is a greater purpose for you, when you know there's something else and you don't know what it is, or you can't get yourself into that place. Like, it's miserable when you know that you've got potential that's not expressed. Yes. So that was kind of the driving force of my own healing journey. And I knew that I wanted to be a mother. And I also knew that I didn't want to pass down repeating patterns from my family to my children. Like, I really wanted to be the person where the buck stops here and we don't have this continuation of these terrible, unhealthy dynamics, whether it's how we feel about ourselves, whether it's in relationships, whether it's our doing jobs that we really don't like and that we just have to do it for the money. You know, I remember saying to my dad, well, I think I was about 21, and I said, Dad, like, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to find the work that I actually love and get paid for it. You know, and I think he was a little bit cynical at that time, but I've said some crazy, wild things to my parents, and they're like, okay, Donna, yeah, you do, you got to go off and do that. You know, I've always felt like the black sheep of the family, but now I like to refer to myself and everyone else, like, I'm sure, like, you maybe, and maybe some of your listeners are the same, like, we're the psychedelic black sheep of the family.
Oh,
We're
I
not really
like
black,
that.
we're really psychedelic.
I
We're the
like that.
ones that come in because we're the chosen ones. We're the ones that are chosen to heal the trauma that's been there in our family systems. We're the ones that are here to heal those repeating patterns and to create a new world. And a big part of that is our inner experience of how do we get to be those soulful, intuitive beings, right? So we're the chosen ones. And I love that. I love that we get to do that work so our children don't get to suffer the same fate as what we did. Yeah,
Mm.
they get to have their emotional needs met. They get to be intuitive and be regarded as intuitive beings from day dot. Like, they get to be you know, with parents who are pursuing their dreams and making their dreams happen, not just like, yes, you can go off and do whatever you want. Like, I believe in you. No, they get to see it with mum. They get to see it with dad, that mum and dad pursue their passions and, you know, have really healthy, robust, wholesome, fulfilled lives. And so they know that that's what the normal is. They know that they can have that. Um,
Love that.
yeah.
Can I ask you, because something that really you said something that really uh I felt like I need to ask you about this. So you said
Yes.
that you worked in a corporate job, which is very, left brain, analytically minded, and then you, even though you felt that you wanted to be working more as a healer or working with energies, or that's not to make the switch probably wasn't a very, I would imagine, easy decision or jump or leap of faith. How did you make that how did you cross over? Was it your intuition? What was it, an awakening? What steered you into that?
Thank you so much for asking that question. I don't know why I'm talking so much about sort of motherhood and kids with you, but here we are. It wasn't what I was planning on talking to you about. Um, so I have my son, and then my daughter is my second born with a miscarriage in between, but that's a story for another day, um, about souls coming in and souls going out and all those things. Um, my daughter, when she was born, all right, let's just completely
Oh,
go there, Kasia. Okay.
yeah,
So,
take us where you need to. I told you this is very intuitive how we talk, right? It's just there's
yes.
no
Yeah.
script, no plan. We just go wherever it
No,
needs to go.
there's no plan. Okay. Perfect. I love that. So, I always felt that there was a girl soul around me from when I was really young. I knew that there was a daughter that was going to come in. So much so that when I first fell pregnant with my son, Archie, at the beginning, I thought it was girl. And I secretly, because we didn't find out if we were having a boy or a girl, I secretly went off and bought all these baby girl clothes and stashed them in bags in the back of our wardrobe of our spare bedroom. Didn't even tell my husband about
Oh.
it. And I'm like, I can't wait to meet this girl finally, right? Anyway, a bit into the pregnancy, I was like, actually, I don't know. Is this a boy or is it a girl? And then I started feeling like, actually, maybe no. And I could feel the energy of Archie. Obviously it was a boy, but I could feel this turquoise energy. And so I painted his room this beautiful bright turquoise color, and I added in energetic like turquoise stuff. Anyway, that's again another story. How many hours are we going to talk for, Kasia? Because I've got a
I
lot to
know.
tell
We could go
you.
everywhere.
Anyway, he was born and he's absolutely a turquoise baby, like a being. His
Oh.
energy is that color. He's just gorgeous. He's a Saggy, he's so much fun. He's yeah, just like really social, and he's just beautiful, right? Anyway, so Archie comes along. I fall pregnant again. It took me a while to get ready to have another baby after him. I was all over the shop after,
Yes, we are.
this journey of this initiation of motherhood, which felt like baptism by fire for me. And then I fell pregnant again finally, and I could feel that there was this violet energy, like around in my womb space, and I was starting to spot. And I said to Spirit, like, if this baby survives, like I'm going to call it Violet if it's a girl. Anyway, I miscarried, and then it took me quite a little bit of time to fall pregnant again. And when I did fall pregnant again, it felt to me like the same soul from that miscarriage. I know that that can happen. It doesn't always happen,
Mm.
but for me, I just felt like with that miscarriage, for some reason, it just didn't click into place. Like she just didn't incarnate
Oh.
into the physical properly. And so when I was able to fall pregnant again, Kasia, I can't tell you, oh gosh, I might cry, the
Oh.
level of joy that I had when I was pregnant with my daughter. And I could feel
Mm.
again the violet energy all around this, like my belly. And this joy emanating from me. I felt so happy when I was pregnant with her because her energy, and like even if you were to meet her today, she is this radiant joy. Like everyone says
Oh.
that like she's all the tears, yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, so
Beautiful.
I named her Violet, and well, me and my husband named her Violet, and she's Violet. So I've got a turquoise baby and I've got a violet baby. They're not babies anymore. They're 12 and 8. And anyway, when Violet was born, though, I said I could feel this connection with her soul for many, many years. Like even before I met my husband, she was around me, and when she was born, I had this feeling of, oh my gosh, finally she's Earthside, and finally we're together. This completion of being together, and I believe that twin flames can come in the shape and form, not just of romantic relationships. I believe they also
Yes.
come in the form of siblings, of parent child. And I believe that Violet is my twin flame. And so
Mm.
that connection of us being together was just like she completed me. And I was just so relieved and happy that she came in and completed our family. As soon as she had arrived, I was like, yep, that's it. Like, we're done with these two beautiful babies. And there was this sense of like everything was right in the world with her being here. And so when she, you know, we know about twin flames being, or twin souls, that we're here to help each other grow. When she was born, I distinctly remember, I don't know how many months old it was, but like the first sort of 6 months of her life, I was breastfeeding her in her bedroom. Oh my gosh, I don't know how many hours I breastfed for. But you know, and rocked her to sleep and all the things, but as we do. Um,
Yes, we do.
and I distinctly remember this feeling. I was in the rocking chair, I was feeding her, and what came up for me was, if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it. Like this dream of doing my healing work, not just as a side hobby hustle thing, if I don't do it now, it's never going to happen. And I could feel her soul was asking me to be everything that I possibly could be.
Oh,
Yeah. So here I was, a newborn baby, like completely sleep deprived. And I decided, that's it. I'm going to give it a crack. And I'm going to give this a red hot go and see what happens. So I'm still on maternity leave from my corporate job. And I opened my business officially. And at the beginning, just worked at nights. And it was a few months in, and basically, I just got flooded. Like all of these clients came to me, and it was sort of like I opened this gateway, and people just came. And
oh,
it wasn't like that really, because actually, if you look at the past, I'd been doing healing work for many, many years before that, right? So it isn't an overnight success. It is that people already knew that I do this, and I officially open up the gates and they come in. So I then at some stage was like, I still need to go back to work because financially, you know, I needed to go back to work. And I'm working in this like really intense, like quite demanding HR role. And I was doing that 3 days a week, but I was like, 12-hour days type thing. And then I had a baby, still a little kid who wasn't sleeping. She like didn't sleep for ages. And my son, of course, and I was doing my healing work in the evening. So it was pretty full on. I was really tired, but also, Kasia, I had never felt so good. Like I was so lit up that it didn't even matter if I was tired. Like I was just so fulfilled and so like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. Like this is amazing. And so I
thank
kept
you.
going down that
Thank you
path.
for sharing this little nugget, because this gives us, I mean, thank you for sharing everything, but this, I just wanted to stop there because, Donna, sometimes we don't know. How do I know when I'm living purposefully, when I'm lit up, when I'm fulfilled? And so for you to say what it felt like for you, I hope that my listeners can connect the dots and see where they are at as a sort of compass to, do I feel fulfilled? Is the, you
Yeah.
know, things that I'm doing and everyone's telling me to slow down, or but I'm loving it and it fulfills me, is that um making me on track, I guess, and not on track with a
Yeah.
timeline, but on track with living in alignment with your purpose. So
Yes.
thank you for saying that.
Exactly. Because we know, like, I know what it's like to not do that. I know how miserable I was, feeling like I had unexpressed potential and that I was meant to be doing something and I wasn't doing it. And I was doing work that, yes, it was amazing. I had a great job. I had a great manager. I had a great team. I was like getting really incredible opportunities and rewarded for that. Like, but there was something inside of me that felt empty. And to go from that to feeling like, oh, this level of fulfillment, and yeah, how lit up I felt because I just knew. There's a sense of rightness, not like right and wrong, like my other job was wrong. It wasn't. It was a great job. It was amazing. I could have kept going down that path and had an incredible career. And yeah, as I said, with amazing people as well. But the rightness that I'm talking about is that soul alignment, is the rightness that you feel like this is right for me. This is what I'm, not only what's right for me, but what I was born to do. This
Yes.
is my soul path. This is why I'm here. This is why I incarnated. I came in so I could help people switch their lights on. And
Yes.
that's the truth of the matter. So when there is that soul, I get all the human 3D things, like I needed to work. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a friend, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm all of the different roles that we play. I get all of that, and I get how important our families are, because don't get me wrong, like you've already heard, my family is everything to me. Like, people in my life are everything to me. And also, from that higher aspect, or that spiritual aspect, there is that knowing that we're born for a reason. We are deliberately choosing to incarnate, and a big part of our fulfillment is connected to that. So whatever that is for each person will look very different. But I think there's this really smart wiring that happens between, I don't know, the universe, the spirit, or is it our souls, where when we are doing the work that we're meant to be doing, it feels so bloody good, right? It's like the
Yeah.
bee's knees. Like, this couldn't get any better. Like, how do I get to have my life look like, I pinch myself all the time, because I'm like, how do I get to call this work? This is phenomenal, right? How is this
Yes,
my life,
absolutely.
that I'm sitting in a teepee and I'm having this conversation with you? Like, it's one of those
I
pinch me
know.
moments now. How does this
Mm.
get to be my life? So, why I think that there is some really bloody smart thing going on here between our souls and the universe is that we are wired to get so much fulfillment and so much joy out of the work that we're meant to be doing,
Yes. And see,
right? So
you
it's this,
recognize this, you see it within yourself, like this fulfills me. Sometimes we don't even know like why we're doing it. There's no end goal. We just gotta follow those threads, I guess,
yes,
right? Like, I mean,
yes,
you being in that amazing corporate role where you said, everything seemingly was right on paper. You had
it was
really no
great on the
reason.
outside.
Yeah, you had no reason to leave. And yeah, there was this pull towards this completely different field. And it's easy to ignore and continue to feel, like you said, go down that path. And at some point, you probably, that emptiness would amplify, and you might feel a little bit stuck, maybe resenting things or people, feeling unfulfilled. But because you trusted that pull or intuition or that inner knowing, it has catapulted you to even bigger and better things, right?
It has. It's taken me on a magical carpet ride of life that I didn't really ever anticipate that, or expect, or really dream that I would be where I am now. And I've still got so much of my life to live, So, and the part of why I love sharing about my personal journey is because it's so
Thank you, by
not
the way. That
perfect.
was so incredible. Thank you. I just wanted to
It's
say
it,
thank you for sharing that. We did not plan this, and yet it came
no,
through,
no,
and
we
it
didn't.
was
And
goosebumps.
yeah, well, I think people get to see, like, if you just looked at my social media, maybe you would see something that is paints a perfect picture. Although I do try and show up on the beach, on the dog beach, with no makeup on occasionally, right? So you can see real
But
stuff that's happening, but um, and other things. But it's it's a challenging journey to follow your intuition. It is not an easy journey. It is a courageous journey. I remember when do you know what else happened? I was walking out of the TP. So at one point, and I had these goals. So when I'd started my business, I was like, okay, well, if I can get my income to match what from my business to match the job income, then that at that point I'll switch and I'll leave my corporate job. And I wasn't quite at that point yet. I was walking in from the TP into, like, at the back of our house, and I heard this whisper, it's time. And I was like, what? Like, it was undeniable because it came out of nowhere. You talk so much about intuition. So, I know that you and your people get this. And yeah, it was
Yeah.
undeniable. And I knew exactly what it meant, which was it's time for you to leave your job.
Oh,
And I was like, but I'm not ready. I haven't hit my goal, these financial goals yet. Da, da, da. And it was just clear as day. And so I was
isn't
like,
it
okay.
funny how a mind creates a goal and we think that's the goal, that's what needs to happen, and then there comes this voice, which yes, we're familiar with over here on this podcast. We're very familiar with these guides speaking to us, and through different ways. And then you decide to leave.
Yes. So of course then I go and have the
How do you
conversation with my
trust?
husband.
But how do you trust? How do you trust that? Not many people trust that. Like we know
Well, I think
where.
this is what happens though, isn't it? When you get little hits of intuition and you decide to push yourself out of your comfort zone and follow them, it wasn't like one big hit of that was the first intuition message that I'd followed. I'd done this over the years in little ways, or maybe some big ways at sometimes, but I had a history of getting intuitive messages and following them and seeing that they worked out really well for me. So when we do that, we're building up our intuition muscle. We're building up that we can, yes, in fact, trust these messages that are coming through. And it just gives us more and more confidence to make those sorts of big decisions. So at the point of which I get that message, I'm like, absolutely so scared about it. Like, don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Like, is this the right thing for me? Is this the right thing for our family? Like, completely freaking out, even though it's everything that I wanted to do, of course. And have the conversation with my husband, who's like always been so supportive of me, which is amazing. And so he's like, okay. And then have a conversation with my manager at that job and do it and be really scared, like so scared, so scared. Yes, freaking out and follow my intuition anyway, because that's
That's
the
what we
kind of
do.
life I want to live. Yeah.
Yes, and that's what we
And
do.
then, so that was a really big turning point. Now, that was about 8 years ago. So
Years
I've
ago.
had my
Wow.
business, like in a month, it'll be 8 years old, my energy healing business. And my intuition has taken us on like the most wildest twists and turns since then. So we used to live in the western suburbs of Melbourne. I've already shared with you, Kasia, that
Yeah.
we live on the Mornington Peninsula. Like
Beautiful
you can
Mornington
see the
Peninsula.
beach from there. Um, a particular spot, like I could just walk straight down to the beach. It's at the end of our road
Oh,
here. It feels like a dream come
so
true for me to
beautiful.
live down here. And um, I can't even tell you the twists and turns that my life has taken by
Tell
following
me
my
about the twists
intuition.
and turns in terms of like, were there twists and turns where you thought, okay, I thought we're going left. I was guided to go left. I'm going left, but now it feels like left isn't right. So where do I go right? Do I
Yes,
go that kind of? Because
yes,
the reason I want to
yes.
open this conversation, because this happens to me. I know it happens to a lot of my clients, and we always kind of come back to this place of, was my intuition wrong? Did I misunderstand something? Till we can see the bigger picture, right? Where we're like, oh, that's
Yes,
why this had to happen,
it's
because now we can.
hindsight.
Was that what it
Hindsight
was
is a
like for you?
beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we looked at all these different places when we were considering moving, and what I knew that I wanted was to have my kids grow up in more nature, and ideally, I don't know. Then we came across the peninsula, and it was not unfamiliar to me, but the place where we've landed, I'd never even been to before, and okay, here's a funny story. So we go and look at this house because my intuition said like this particular part of the peninsula. So we go to this suburb called Shoreham, which I'm sure you know, And
Shoreham, no, I have not heard of that
oh,
particular.
so Shoreham's in between like basically Point Leo and Flinders on the
Okay,
Western
yep,
Port side. Yeah.
yep.
So anyway, so my intuition said like this patch of the peninsula. That's how like I just got like this sort of radial area. And so
Yeah.
we start looking in this area. The first house we go and look at in Shoreham, the real estate, I was like an absolute dump of a house and it was so expensive. I was like, we're never going to be able to do this. The real estate agent hangs out with us, spends half an hour talking to us about like, I don't know, life and what we're doing, and says, I actually think that maybe summers could be good for you guys because you're like it's a really great family friendly area. You probably get more for your money. This is a little
Wow.
while ago. And anyway, so we do this search and we go all around the peninsula. I found this place in Red Hill like that felt energetically was like bam, like amazing. Like I was crying standing on this block of land. Like that's how much I fell in love with it. Anyway, then we are looking different houses and blah blah blah. Well, we just took this thing, like we just were looking at something else, and it was in the lockdowns of the pandemic, and we said to each other, me and my husband, why don't we just go have a look at this block of land in Summers? So, well, like as I said, we'd never even heard of Summers before. I didn't even know about it, and we went and had a look in the block of land. And so, this is my process, Kasia. Every place we went to, I took my shoes off,
Oh,
placed
wow.
my bare feet on the earth, and just felt into the energy of the land and let it speak to me. And like, does it want? What does it want? Does it want us to live here? What does it want? And so, and could I connect with it? So I did that every place we looked at. And yeah, don't mean to be like talking to the real estate agent going, okay, you go off and do your thing now. Like I just walk off somewhere and
I'll
like take my
distract the real
shoes off
estate
and
agent.
basically it was like, you can go do your thing, it's all right. And yeah, so I was standing on this block of land and my energies just dropped down into it and I just felt so peaceful and I just got this feeling of home and it was
Oh.
so strong. Anyway, we don't have all day to tell. This is a short version, believe it or not. But there were 3 blocks of land. We thought we missed out on all of them. They were right next to each other. And then a contract fell through and we got a call, I shit you not, from the same real estate agent from Shoreham, way
Wow.
back when, who said to us, would you still like to make that same offer? That contract of sale has fallen
Oh,
through. So
that is
I was like,
amazing.
yes, yeah, on this in the speakerphone in the car. And anyway, so we go through this process. We move down to the peninsula. We build the dream home. We move into it, and we decide, is this what we really want? Like we'd spent. This was like obviously a long planned out process, and to build a house and to get permits and all of that. Like it was a long process, more than 2 years. And it was the dream house. I crystal gridded that house, Kasia. I had like hundreds of crystals in it. It was amazing, like cathedral ceilings, big, beautiful, bright, white house, all the things. We move in and it was like, actually, is this what we really want? We're thinking that we built the forever home. And my husband and I made a decision that actually what felt better was to not have all of our finances tied up in a big, beautiful home and instead sell it and create a different lifestyle for our family and be able to take the kids on adventures and do different things. So we sell the dream home and everyone's like, what are you selling the house for? Like, are you crazy? And I'm like, yeah, we're crazy. And this is what
Wow.
feels right. This is intuitively, both of us felt like this is the direction to go
So
in.
this is the new
So
space that
the
you're selling or your old house where you were?
the old house where we
Okay.
were,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the dream house is the yeah,
Yeah.
selling the dream house, yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is only last year, by the way.
Wow.
So I thought like every sign pointed us to that house. My intuition was like, this is the best thing ever. Like it felt so right. I can't even tell you. And then when we move in and we're like, really, is this really what we want? And at my intuition says like, no, like not anymore. And the process of letting go what once felt so right and was what I thought was everything that I wanted, that twist and turn
Wow.
to then sell it. And then we've bought another place in the same location. My intuition, this is funny. I was standing in the front room of that house and my intuition said, like, it stood for, like, it made me stand forward and turn my head to the left and was like, just up there and around the corner. And that is exactly where we bought our current house.
Oh my gosh. What?
So we bought this old beach shack, and we're going to do an extension and renovate it. Where I'm on this housey journey that was so unexpected and is so soul led,
And
but
you're
the
embracing it,
benefits,
right? Like you're embracing it, even though it's got the twists and turns. You're trusting in the higher power, bigger picture,
absolutely,
that this is all, yeah.
absolutely,
Okay. Okay, this is
yeah.
all
So
important.
yeah, did I grieve that house? Did I grieve the dream house? Yeah, I did. But do you know what that gave us? That set us up financially.
Mm.
What that house has given us is more than just the financial benefit of building and selling a house. It has given us, me and my husband really got on the same page through that whole build process and then choosing to sell it. We got very clear about our values, that what's most important is, doesn't matter where we live, that we're all happy and that we have the kind of lifestyle that we want for our kids and our family. But what's most important, we got very clear about our values through that process. So now when I look back, like, I'm so happy. I'm so happy here in the old beach shack. We've got this beautiful native garden. My soul is a big yes to this land. It just feels so right and so relaxed, and like I've got birds flying over the top of us all the time, and just it's amazing. You can hear the ocean in the teepee at night, and yeah, like the twists and turns that your intuition
Yeah.
can take you on. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Like,
you embrace them. Because so many times we
yeah,
spend so much time questioning, and Donna, I can't tell you how similar our journeys are, of you moving to the peninsula and me moving down here to lakes. I mean, so similar. The twists, the turns, and I gotta tell you, with each twist and turn, I did have a like, what are we doing there? Why is this happening?
yes,
And then I'm like, okay, trust
absolutely.
it. Like you heard the voice, it's time. I always hear, um, so okay, just go with it. Just go with it. And that's how, it's important that you shared your story, and I'm really grateful that you did. And it's important that we say this because I think sometimes we get so, like I said, caught up in the twist, the turn, left, the right. So which one is it? So did I trust my intuition? Was my intuition wrong? Am I being led astray? Like, what's happening?
Yes,
We get
I
very, we
asked that question.
right, we
Mm,
interact or react with each twist and turn, instead of sort of having this trust and faith, that it's happening for a reason, because you know the difference between your ego guiding you and your soul, your higher self guiding you, right, through your intuition.
yeah,
Now, I am being very
right.
mindful of your time, and as much as I would love to just delve more into your stories of intuition, because oh my god, I know my listeners are going to love it, but you have House of Orion, and I need to mention this. I need
Yes.
to, because this is
Okay,
the
let's talk about
fascinating
that.
thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
this
because
is
this is
actually
what you
another
do.
twist and turn. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
what I do. So I do energy and emotional healing work. I help people heal deeply so they can switch their light on. And you know what I love about that is that a natural side effect or benefit of doing deep inner healing work is that our intuition switches on. It just naturally happens. You naturally open up your strong suits of intuition, and sometimes we need to do that healing work so we can get into that place of following our intuition. Okay, let's put that aside for the moment. So
I
when
love this. I
we
just
when
want
I
people to know this House of Orion and this energy work that you're doing. And so we're clearing the space now. Donna is going to tell us about this.
so one of the other twists and turns was we arrive on the peninsula. I'm in my teepee and I had this pregnant sort of feeling. Like, have you had that before? Like a spiritually pregnant feeling, like there's something there that wants to come through me and I don't know quite what it is. I had it a couple of times.
Mm.
It was a big feeling, and I knew that it was there. And I was in the TP, and I was in a session with my mentor, my healer, and she took me through this process of like helping me get clear about what that was. So I connect with the soul of my business, because I believe our businesses have souls.
Yes, me
Yes,
too.
that's a whole nother conversation again.
Yes,
Um, yeah, a fun one too.
I believe it.
And
And they have an Akashic record.
yeah, cool. I don't know about that, and I would love to know about that. That's so fun. Amazing. We'll have to talk more. Um, so I'm connecting with the soul of my business, and my mentor, she asks me, what does your business want to sell? And before I could even think, the word products came. And I was like, what the heck? Like, you've just heard my journey of becoming a healer, you know, having a business. I thought that I would always just be offering services. And I had avoided, gonna tell you a secret, I avoided products like the plague. I didn't sign up to doTERRA. I didn't sign up to like any of the MLMs. Like, I was just like, nah, products are not for me. I'm just doing services. This is my jam. So when that word came through, I was like, oh my goodness, what do you mean, spirit? Like, soul of my business, like, what the heck? Anyway, I start getting these downloads one after another. I see this hand like out in the stars, and I see a ring slide onto this person's finger, and I see energy run up that person's hand and arm and into their body, and then bing, like their light turns on, like a light bulb being turned on, but their aura activating. I start getting all of these downloads about gemstones and colored gemstones, like large colored gemstones, particularly in rings. That's what came through at the beginning, and how they were activating people's energy field. I see these rings being made. It's like I'm up in the stars looking down on the map of Earth, and I see that these rings are getting made in the Melbourne area. Like, obviously that's where I live, and they're getting made, and then they're like shipping off to all these different parts around the world. And then as I see them getting, and I'm thinking, this is wild, like this is crazy. I can't even like mentally can't comprehend this. And these rings are getting shipped off all around the world, and then I start to see this grid forming over around the earth, and it dawns on me, this is the world's largest crystal grid, and it's made with all of our pieces of jewelry all around the world.
Oh my
So
God.
we have a really big I have a really big mission with my business, and that is to create the world's largest crystal grid using our jewelry. So
I
it
love it.
has this incredible way of, I call them soulmate stones, Kasia, because when you meet your gemstone, that's what it feels like. It feels like you're meeting your soulmate. It feels like, so many of my clients say, like, it just makes me feel like I'm at home. I'm in love. Like, I have to have this. This is a part of me.
Look
I was
how
talking to one of
emotional
my,
you're getting.
yeah,
Oh, this is
yeah,
so
like one of my clients said to me last night, like, I can't take this ring off because it's a part of me. I'm like, I completely understand. Like, this is not jewelry. This is your soul being expressed in a piece of gorgeous jewelry. So it has that expression. But actually, these soulmate stones activate your soul. It activates your energy. It activates your core essence of who you are and brings forth something else that hasn't yet been expressed. And they're lifelong pieces of jewelry, like, that are going to stay with you and continue to activate your energy field. So, yeah, so I don't know. What questions have you got?
I am
They're
so
handmade,
fascinated.
and they're ethically sourced gemstones, and they're made to be heirloom jewelry. So I feel that something that had been missing from the spiritual jewelry realms are luxurious, high quality pieces of jewelry with amazing energy. From my experience, I'd found great pieces of like energetic crystals and stuff in jewelry, but poor quality. And or the other opposite end of the spectrum, look in jewelry shops and see these sparkling pieces of, you know, jewelry, but no soul behind it. I was like,
Yes.
why can't we have both? Why can't we have luxury and spirituality? Why can't we have the highest quality and the highest vibration? Let's have
Yes.
both, right?
And so
So
do people select them themselves, or do they have a session with you and you guide them towards the right one? How
yeah.
does that work? Is it on your website? Is it like a 24 hours, 7 days a week, you can go and just purchase whenever?
Oh no, gosh, no. You can't purchase anything off my, I don't have a shop.
Ah.
And might have a website and it tells you about my process, but this is custom made for your soul. So
Mm.
the first step in the process is when you decide you want a piece of jewelry is a blossom session. And I call it that because you
Lovely.
connect with your soul in a way that you probably have never connected with it before. You feel who you truly are and what your soul wants for you, what it wants to express through you. And that energy, that experience is what we capture. And then I match gemstones to that. So in that blossom session, your soul blossoms. That's why I call it blossom.
I love it.
And then you will also download, like divinely download, what that jewelry looks like, what color, what kind of stone it is. Is it a ring? Is it a pendant? Like, you know, we get the sort of the framework of it. Then
Yeah.
I go and intuitively choose gemstones. And then I bring those gemstones back to the person, to my beautiful customer. We can do it online or in person, either way. And then, yeah, there's that moment of meeting your soulmate stone. And then we go and design the jewelry around that stone with your personal preferences, what you find is beautiful and like what would really make your heart sing. Like my goal is to make the most stunning piece of jewelry that you've ever seen, like the thing that makes your soul and your heart sing and just like, oh my god, I can't stop looking at it, it's so beautiful,
Mm.
you know, like it gets to
Mhm.
be all of the things. So then I'm not a jeweler. I'm really good with energy work. I'm really good with intuition, and I'm not really good with making jewelry. So I have an incredible jeweler that works with me, and he hand makes all of the pieces, and then I energetically activate the gemstones. So we have that energy rippling up your arms and in and turning on your light experience. But they're all attuned in a way that's very specific to each person because, of course, your soul is unique.
Wow. What a journey. I love that.
Yeah.
Um, Donna, so okay, so I know that I will link. Where do I go from here? No, I will of course link everything so that anyone listening who wishes to connect with Donna can find her easily. I know that in your links you have also added a little gift. Um,
Yes.
but
So
but yeah, we'll let them find that out. But what I would like you to tell me now is there anything that I didn't ask that you wished I'd asked you?
actually, if it's okay, what's on my heart is one of the other things that I've just birthed in my healing work.
Yeah.
Um, and I've just launched, so I've been doing one-on-one healing work for a really long time, like years and years and years, and thousands of sessions. And what I've done is I've figured out like what is the most effective parts of my healing work. And I've created this new program, this new course, which is called Soul Radiance. And it is like my deep dive healing program where people's lights switch on and you open up your intuition through doing that healing work. And so I just wanted to share that. So I feel like probably my mission here on earth is not probably, I just feel a bit shy about saying it, but my mission here on earth is to support people switching their lights on. And I do that two ways. I do it with my healing work and then I do it with jewelry. And so you can either have the healing and have your light switch on that way if that's what you need. It's like choose your own adventure. You know those books that we read when we were young?
Yeah.
You can either have the healing adventure and have your light switch on like that, or you can have the jewelry, I believe, acts as our North Star for our soul. And you can have your light switched on like that. And I do have some customers that are like, I want both, Donna. I'm like, well, you can have both.
Oh, thank you
So,
for saying this
yeah.
because you've inspired actually my last question to you, which is around do you still offer sessions? Like, do
Yeah,
you
I
still
do
work with
both.
it? Okay, yes, okay. Just
Yeah.
wanted to say this out loud there, because yes, you have this wonderful cause, you have this amazing product, which I will link everything. Please share a gift with us. Please share a gift, a message, anything that you want to. I'm asking for the
I
audience, but
really
also
feel
for
like
me.
what's on my heart to share with people is you've seen how I've shared how my imperfect life is so perfect, you know, like it takes courage to walk this soul path and it's challenging, but it's also amazing. You end up like I never would have imagined that I would end up living where I live, doing the work that I do, and that has all been based on following my intuition. So what's on my heart to gift or share a message to share is like, please trust yourself. Please have the courage to follow your intuition. Sometimes it takes so much feeling the fear and doing it anyway, you know? So that's what's really on my heart. And then,
Oh,
of course, I also have that free gift that you were saying, Kasia, which is
yeah.
before a blossom session, actually, the very first step for anyone who's interested is I offer a free energy reading where I look at the colors in your energy field. I tell you what they specifically mean for you. And then I try on different color gemstones in your energy field and I see like, is that what's going to be the perfect match? What's going to turn your light on? What's going to really enhance your energy, activate your light and really give you the kind of experience that you want in your life. So I offer free 10-minute energy readings. So if any of your listeners would like that, it would be my absolute pleasure to do that with them. And then should you choose to have a piece of jewelry, then you move to the next step, which is a blossom session.
That is such a beautiful and generous gift. And those of you who are listening, you will have to go to the YouTube channel to see the video. But Donna, you're clearly doing something right with your own energy because your energy is just divine. And I truly I'm grateful that our paths have crossed.
Yeah, me
And
too.
yes, because oh my God, I was listening to your sound, I'm like, that's like almost everything similar to me. Like, what you went through and I mean it's like your children, that was just mind blowing how you had that experience with the souls and the colors and it's just divine. But also your energy is so beautiful, so warm, so just radiant. And I know
Thank
that my
you.
listeners who will watch the video will probably agree that you must be doing something right with your own energy. And to me, that's the best type of healer. That's the kind of healer that I feel safe putting my own healing journey into, their hands because I know that they're doing the work as well. They're not just
Yeah.
talking about it, right? So thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much for saying that. I really appreciate it. Actually, that's one of the things that my clients, when they give me feedback, that they say the most is that, like, I walk my talk and it's an embodied healing journey. I understand what my clients go through because I've been through it and I really get it. And so, yeah, it's it has to be part of the path, in my opinion. We have to walk our talk. We have to do
Yeah.
the work ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. That's and it's not just done and dusted. It's sort of, I mean, I feel that the more we grow and expand, and as healers, we feel the energies upgrading us, we kind of have to keep at it almost. Like I feel like our work is never really done because there's another twist, there's another turn, and how we navigate through it. It's almost like it adds to the shine or it kind of can dampen or yeah
Agree.
makes it
Agree.
make us look a little bit more dull and you can I think I think we can so many of us are so intuitive already, and they don't even realize, but they can sense when
Yes.
someone speaks the truth. They can sense when something resonates with them because it comes from a loving, authentic place. I certainly felt that with you, Donna, and
Oh,
I look
thank you. I
forward to
feel the
doing more
same.
with you.
Oh, thank you,
Delighted.
thank you, thank you. I'm so excited to, thank you so much for having me here, and I'm excited to connect with you, but also everyone listening as well.
Thank you. And everyone listening, you can find all the ways that you can connect with Donna in the show notes below this episode or below this video if you're watching it on YouTube. And once again, thank you. And I will speak to you next week. Bye for now.